sannyas. And so when Mahaprabhu received sannyas, he said that I have only accepted this cloth. I have only accepted the dress of the sannyasi. Paramyanistam matraveshadaram makunda sevayavai sansaratanam. The meaning is, I have accepted the renounced order. So, within Varnashram Dharma, the fourth order is the sannyas ashram. And this sannyas ashram is an arrangement within Varnashram Dharma to transcend Varnashram Dharma. So, whether the ashram is in a Vaishnava, receiving from a Vaishnava Sampradaya, or from the Shankar's Vidhi, according to Vidhi, it's still just a change of ashram. You understand? So, and it just so happens that Krishna Bharati is a Vaishnava, disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And so, he receives sannyas first of all from a Vaishnava. Only the Vidhi, that means the ritual by which he received it, was the one that was popular at that time historically and spread everywhere and respected by all the people. So, Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, he said, Paratma Nishtam Matravesha Dharam. The purpose of moving from the ashram in which there are some social responsibilities to mother, to the wife, to feeding guests and all the responsibilities which are there within the Grihastha ashram. Now, the sannyas ashram is the ashram which is the facility within Varnashram Dharma to transcend Varnashram Dharma. So, it's the responsibility of that ashram is Paratmanishtam, to become fixed in the realization of Atma and the Supreme Soul. So Mahaprabhu said, I accepted this vaish, this cloth, Paratmanishtam matra, the word matra means only. Vaishadharam, Vaishadharam, I have accepted this cloth only for Paratmanishtam. And Mukunda Sevayavai Sansarataram, and to be delivered from samsara, from this material world, by Mukunda Seva, service to Mukunda. So there's no question of any kind of Advaitavadi or Shankarite or Mayavadi conception anywhere in Mahaprabhu or even in his sannyas group as well. So another thing to consider is this, that you can say, well, Mahaprabhu took Diksha in the Madhva line, why not take the Diksha from a Tirtha or someone, all the sannyasis in the line of Madhva called Tirtha. So Madhavendra Puri is called Puri because he received Diksha from Lakshmipati Tirtha when he was a household before his sannyas, and then later he took sannyas from Vishnu Puri. So Madhvacharya himself, he was very young when he took sannyas, and at that time Shankaracharya's influence was very powerful everywhere. And Madhvacharya himself took sannyas from follow Shankaracharya. So if you say Mahaprabhu is not following Madhvacharya because he took according to the video of Shankaracharya, well, Madhvacharya himself took sannyas according to the video of Shankaracharya. Like this in Shankaracharya's line. So that doesn't make him less of a follower, less following or respecting the tradition of Madhva. He's actually did exactly what Madhva did as well. So you should see it in this way. Another thing is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Saragrami. He focuses on the essence. And so, if the form is something somewhat unconventional, that's not problematic. for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's pursuing the essence. And this is why he accepted us as associates, though he's a Brahmin, from a Brahmin background. But he's very close and saying, Haridas Thakur, we are the same caste. Why? Because of the essence. In essence, I am Satchidananda, you are Satchidananda. He accepted Ramananda Rai, who was he was a government official, very wealthy, living a life of opulence, but he was completely detached. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And he had so many associates from different walks of life. Now, one thing is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared for also one aspect of his lila is to preach. And so, for bhakti to spread everywhere, it's necessary to overcome the influence of Mayavada. So, by accepting the sannyas in the Shankarite order, then he became the object of some affection from those who were in Shankar's line, like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya used to go. This young sannyasi, let me teach him Vedanta to help. But he's also from my village. Well, my father was friends with Nilanban Chakravarti. And so, somehow the Mahaprabhu did him in such a way to attract that there should be affection towards him. The same when he went to Kashi. The leader of all the Shankarites was a Praharshananda Saraswati in Kashi. So he was saying, oh, he's in our line. Why is he sitting outside? Come and sit inside with us. So, on the one hand, Mahaprabhu just accepted the renounced order in order to become completely focused on and attain Krishna by setting that example. On the other hand, he didn't take from a Shankarite, it was a Vaishnava. And on the other hand, it was also like a cover that he could infiltrate easily into the Shankarite community. And they would feel some possessiveness for him. And then they would have some piety from that. Transcendental piety from that. And then he converted them. So, another thing is that Mahaprabhu is Pranara Visuddhi, more humble than a blade of grass. So it's so heartbreaking when you see his humility. And when Mahaprabhu met with Ramananda Rai, then Ramananda Rai said, I'm just a Sudra. Because he was from the Karan caste. They're like the castes in the rest as a caste of Karan caste. So they're technically Sudras. But they're very expert in management and economics and all those things. So they became very powerful. And they would generally be in the employment of kings. And then they would use their financial networks and contacts in the service of the government. So Ramananda Rai is saying to Mahaprabhu, I am just a Sudra. And then fallen in this world. Mahaprabhu said, no, you are Kiva Vipra, Kiva Nyasi Sudra Keninai, Krishna Tattva to say, whether someone is a Sudra or a sannyasi, whoever they are, if they know Krishna Tattva, that person is Guru. And Mahaprabhu was glorifying him. And then Mahaprabhu was self-deprecating, saying, I don't have even a slight trace of bhakti, I'm a Mayavadi. I'm a Mayavadi sannyasi. You see? So there's also that aspect of his leader. Of course, he's not a Mayavadi, but only because he accepted the sannyasa according to the video of Sankaracharya. Then he could plausibly say, I am a Mayavadi. Because there's no one who has less bhakti than a Mayavadi. Mayavadi is the most extreme antithetical position that you can take against bhakti. So this is also part of Mahaprabhu's humility. Is it clear? This is the Sampradaya Vichar. It's very subtle. Very often people are hasty in coming to their conclusions and seeing things, measuring them from the external perspective without understanding the mood, the heart, the historical context. All of these things. Therefore, it is only possible to understand Sampradaya, the true nature of the Sampradaya, by hearing from one who has heard, or from one who has heard, from one who has heard, from one who has been enlightened into the tattva of the Sampradaya. Otherwise, just reading books here and there are so many opinions, and you'll just make up your opinion based on a mixture of those opinions. Yes, very nice. Prajna. Prajna.
So Gurudev, previously you mentioned about Bhagavad Sampradaya and Diksha Sampradaya, and it's look like
Very clear. Bhagavad Guru Parampara and Pancharatra Guru Parampara.
yes, Bhagavad Guru Parampara. Does it mean that we can attain Goloka Vrindavan by without Diksha mantras, without Diksha initiation? Because in Shastra I hear that Guru Diksha Vihinasya Guru Diksha Vihinasya, значит, все эти события without Diksha не способны к
Say that verse again.
Guru Diksha Vihinasya, значит, все эти события Tasmat Guru Prayadana, the Guru na Dikshita Bhavet, Spadmaparama. And does it mean that we can attain Goloka Vrindavan without Diksha or not? And did accept Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami Diksha from Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or not? And
where is it written that Rupa and Sanatana received Diksha from Chaitanya?
I'm asking, they from anyone they received Diksha or not? And the power of Diksha mantra is dependent from the quality of the Guru. Is it additionally Diksha mantra is Guru or not?
Okay, so first of all, you should know that historically speaking, in the Vedic tradition, there were at least 12 different schools or ways in which the knowledge was passed down. They have names like the Bhagavad school, the Pancharatra school, the Vaikanas school. Most of these, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur has given a list of the different schools. But in Kali Yuga, only two have, there's still, the tradition is still going on. That is the Pancharatra school and there was the Vaikana school, the Samprata school. But in this Kali Yuga, the Bhagavad school and the Pancharatra school, they are still continuing. And so when you study the Sandarbhas of Srila Jiva Goswami, then the Usop Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatana Goswami, Pancharatra Bhagavate Vairakshankaya. The symptoms of bhakti are described in these two schools, Pancharatra school and Bhagavad school. And in the Sandarbhas, Jiva Goswami, from the very beginning, Atana Tva Mantrago Gurun Bhagavatadam. First I give my pranam to my mantra guru and then to the gurus from whom I received the Bhagavad. And this theme of Pancharatra Diksha, because the actual process of Diksha means Pancharatra Diksha. It's a ritual within the Pancharatra school. Understand? So when people say Diksha, they may or may not be aware of it, but it's a process here in Pancharatra. So, and it's a part of Pancharatra, means the Archan school of Archan. So, the theme is there again and again as you go through the Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami. Just like we discussed the other day, we said that a person can attain perfection by his Bhagavad Shastra Drashta the person who instructed him in the Bhagavatam, or by his mantra guru. So again and again it comes. Also in the discussion of different levels of Vaishnavas, the qualification of Kanishka Madhyama Bhuta is given in the Pancharatric school. And then afterwards, the qualifications in the Bhagavad school are given as well. And they're not the same. Because in the description of the Uttam Adhikari, all the qualifications of the Uttam Adhikari are given in Bhakti Sandarbha. And in the explanation, Jiva Swamipad said, this refers to the Pancharatric school. Because the Uttam Adhikari, the qualities of the Uttam Adhikari don't mention in the list of qualities that he has Krishna praying. It says he's expert in this, and he's expert in that, and he can do this, that. And Jiva Goswami said, you should take it that this is an explanation of the Uttam Adhikari in the Pancharatric school, because praying is not mentioned. Whereas in the Bhagavad school, praying on Maitri Purvakshai, Yakaroti Sumadhyama, praying is mentioned for the Madhyam Bhagavat in the Bhagavad school. Understand? So this theme, it comes again and again. And only those who are prejudiced, who don't know the history and are not deeply versed in the Sandarbhas, they think, oh, what is this Bhagavad Guru Parampara? They're quite ignorant of history and of Shastra and of Siddhanta. So this is the first one. Then the next question, do you need to take Diksha to attain perfection? And the answer is yes, you do. But no, a person can attain praying without Diksha, but not you. You see, in principle, it's possible to attain praying without Diksha. I never saw that when Mahaprabhu was going through the Jharkhand forest, that all the tigers sat down in the fire there. Mahaprabhu gave the mantra in the right ear. The tigers then they sat in the fire and Mahaprabhu gave them the bread. They did swaha. They did undergo the Upanaya Sanskar, which is recommended to be performed along with the, to make a deep Sanskar, along with the Diksha mantras in the Sanskar Tipika and Satkya Satyapika of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So, praying, it is said that we mentioned yesterday that Krishna Prema, when that Durga people would get praying just seeing Mahaprabhu from far away. Where's the Diksha? So yes, it's possible to get praying. It's possible to get praying Hare Ram, just by chanting the holy name. We don't see that Haridas Thakur received Diksha. There's no history of Haridas Thakur receiving Diksha. However, he's good Brahma, so he received Diksha from Krishna's flute in the Brahma Samhita. So, in principle, it's not impossible to get Krishna praying. Why? Krishna Vajay Prema. By being fixed in any act of bhakti, you can get praying. And Jiva Goswami even says this in Bhakti Sandarbha that any one of the angles of bhakti can give perfection. The holy name can give perfection. Guru Seva is independent and can give perfection. So, what is the necessity of Diksha? So, Jiva Goswami said that the reason a person, when they chant the holy name, they don't get praying, is because they have shifted chitta. That means their mind is subjected to distractions. Vichita chitta. And also one of the things that causes their mind to be in a state of distraction is Kadarya Shila. Kadarya Shila means they have some unvirtuous or impious habits. So if you have impious habits like eating meat or illicit connection with the opposite sex, taking intoxicants or gambling, these things make the mind become unsteady, so you have to check it. Entities, they are affected by the Darya and the Chitta. When they chant the name, then they cannot become absorbed in the holy name. They commit offenses to the holy name. They have inattentiveness. And so, to overcome these two faults is a process of regulating your life. Because Diksha is not, oh, sit down, receive a mantra. Just like yesterday. There was one Indian gentleman. He came to me after the class and he said, oh, I am so inspired by you. Please give me Diksha today. He said I was initiated in Rishikesh by a yogi there, but now I want to do bhakti. Can I be initiated again? I said, yes, it's alright if you are initiated in the line of yoga. But if you want to come in the line of bhakti, that initiation is not relevant. You have to, if you want to follow bhakti, you need to be initiated by Vaishnava Guru in the line of bhakti. So that's what. Can you give me today? I said, no. Mantra cannot be given in the evening, it has to be given in the morning. And the Guru has to test the disciple before initiation. Without testing, then this causes the destruction of society. And it is a sign that the Guru has material attachments to followers. He wants to collect followers. Easy come, easy go. So, we're discussing the process of Diksha. So, Diksha is not only being initiated on that day, Diksha is Pancha Sanskar. You have to go through the Pancha Sanskars. The Tapa and Purvakunda and Nam and Mantra and Ya, 5 Sanskars. And to do all of these things, you have to regulate your life. You have to have a strict schedule and sadhana and practices. And so it's the process of Diksha which takes away one's bad habits and creates the environment to overcome Vichitta, unsteadiness of the mind. And then when one remembers the holy name, then you can get the benefit of the holy name. But we cannot chant purely without having some Sambandhagana, relation with Krishna. So the Diksha mantra gives the samskara of a particular relationship with a particular Ishtadev. And so the process of Diksha is actually just creating the opportunity to be able to chant purely. Understand? Because in the holy name, the Diksha mantra, what is it? It's a beach, a word indicating prapati, surrender, and then the holy names. So it's just the holy name. But the whole process of Diksha creates the possibility and the qualification to be able to chant purely. So, another thing is that by the will of the Lord, and by the desire of the great rishis who have revealed the Panchatrattva mantras, the mantras themselves have a special shakti to awaken your Sambandhagana. So Jiva Goswami said that those who want to have a special relationship with the Lord and who want to overcome their bad habits and Vichitta Chitta, they should receive mantra and Panchatrattva Diksha from a qualified Guru. They should do that. So we can say as a general rule, if you're not a direct incarnation of Guru Brahma, like Haridas Thakur. If you haven't received initiation direct from Krishna's flute in your previous life, then you probably need to take Diksha. So in Kali Yuga, we don't have this Kadari Shila Diksha Chitta. So, yes, we need to take Shisha. You can see in the teachings to Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu quotes the verse, and it's also quoted by Rupa Goswami, Adhyavali. No Diksham Nachasakriyam Prashcharyam Vedayam Shri. The holy name is attractive to all persons, even liberated souls. It bestows all aspersiousness. And except for the dumb, people who are dumb, who cannot chant it, it is very easily available to everyone. The holy name does not depend on diksha, does not depend on purascharya. Purascharya means some rituals that you have to perform when you receive diksha, and you have to do the purascharya in the strict system. So, this Rupa Goswami, Mahaprabhu himself, they say, no diksham nachasakriyam na purascharya madam. The holy name doesn't depend on diksha. So, syntactically, philosophically, in principle, it's a fact. But in practical life, because of the qualification of practically everyone in Kali Yuga, we there's a synergy between the Pancharactic path and the Bhagavad Marg. You see? So most persons are not qualified for the Bhagavad Marg. So we begin by following Vaidhi Bhakti, that is Archa, the Pancharactic Marg. By following that, then one becomes pretty, refined. And then Sadho Vidya Mudite Prithvi Suslusvis Tatsanat. Those who are already refined. Then when they hear the Bhagavatam, then they can immediately get Krishna's brain. So it may be that someone receives Pancharactic Diksha from one guru and becomes refined by that. But that guru, he's not on the highest level. And then they meet another guru who is on the highest level of Krishna prema and realize the service of Radha Krishna. And when they hear the Bhagavatam from the Bhakti Bhagavats, then that person immediately gets free. Or after some time, he gets free. So, it is recommended by our acharyas, and our acharyas said the example. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received Diksha. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana, everyone, all of our acharyas have received Diksha. But that doesn't mean that from whom they receive Diksha is always the prominent guru from whom they receive prema. But it's considered the mercy of if one associates later with a very high level of Bhakti Bhagavat, who becomes prominent, but it was by the mercy of the Diksha guru. So that's why he's saying, Nama Shashtam Nama Peace. This verse is Raghunath Swami's prayer to whom? Who is he praying to?
Raghunath Goswami, his guru.
Raghunath Swami, who is he praying to in his prayer? Nama Shashtam Nama Peace. Sajiputam
Sanatana Goswami.
Sanatana Goswami. Wrong.
Oh, Swarup Damodar.
Wrong.
Yamunacharya. Yes. Yamunacharya.
It is Diksha Guru is Yadunandana Acharya.
Yadunandana.
So he's saying, by the mercy of my Diksha Guru, I received Harinam, I received Diksha, and then the association of Mahaprabhu, Swarup Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, all the gifts to Pratitya Rupa, the abundant, overflowing mercy of Yadunandana Acharya. So we can say Sanatana Goswami, Swarup Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they're his Bhagavad Gurus. But Rupa Goswami became the main one. So in this way, the ideal situation, the ideal standard that was set by Mahaprabhu, that was set by Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and all our acharyas, is that perfect the harmonic relationship between the Panchatric mark and the Bhagavad mark. And this is why if you look at the logo of the Gaudiya Math, once we were in Latvia, festival in Latvia, and I gave a lecture on the meaning of the logo of the Gaudiya Math. Have you seen the Gaudiya Math logo? No.
Oh, yes, logo. But I don't remember, it's very difficult.
It has the Gopal Yatra, but it has the Panchayatra on one side and the Bhagavad on the other side. And Vidhi on one side and Radha on the other. See?
Yes.
In the Raga Marg is for the qualified, purified, and refined persons who have very high class association. So that means they've actually entered into Shuddha Bhakti. And so for those persons, Krishna, Nam, Rup, Gun, and Lila, when they hear it, they realize it. When they chant about the associates of Krishna, they are realizing the associates of Krishna. So they can follow the associates of Krishna. You cannot follow someone that you cannot see. Yes, I'm following the Lita. Yes, have you seen the Lita? I'm following Rupa Manjari. Have you seen Rupa Manjari? Then how do you follow? What are you following? Following imagination. So in the beginning, they will take up the Vidhi. They actually in outline. If you have an advanced guru, then you earn Brahma from the beginning, but just not qualified to actually do the sadhana of Brahma. Because by associating with the Vaishnava in Brahma, then the shraddha, the faith that you get, is actually Logomoy shraddha. There's some greed in it. It's not impelled by fear, rules and regulations and logic. If you have a high-class guru, high-class association, but the problem is because there are so many anarthas, one is not qualified to do the sadhana of Radha Bhakti yet. So he has to take up Vaidhi Bhakti with great enthusiasm, and when the anarthas are clear and Nishtha, and then Ruchi comes, then on the strength of Ruchi, in Ruchi says realization of the associates, then you can do the sadhana of Radha Bhakti, which begins not with meditating on sitting here, but meditating on the associates. Krishnam Smaran Taram Jasya Krishnam Nijasati. So in Bhagavad, Smaran doesn't mean remembering a description that you heard or something you read in a book about the associates. In Bhagavad, Smaran, and reading Bhagavad actually, which is pure. When not in the stage of Arjuna Vriti, only from Shraddha to Ishta, he's actually Shraddha Tattva, it's not even Bhakti Tattva. But according to the real definition of Smaran, remembrance, or even the real definition of hearing, the real definition of chanting, it means realizing. It doesn't mean some words, and the words are different from what they are describing. The name is no different from the name. The description of the form is not different from the form. The description of the qualities is not different from the qualities. The description of the associates is actually not different from the associates. If you don't realize the non-difference, then where's our Advaita? Where's our Advaita? Non-duality. Because we have duality between the word and the object. So there's no Advaita at all. So, the practical situation is that though the Panchatric mark is independent, it's its own path, but because it's Vidhi Bhakti, it will lead to Vaikuntha, or to Golok, which is Mahavaikuntha. And Bhagavad mark is also independent. It's not dependent, so no Yakshamana just Satkar. There's no need of picture. Bhagavad is independent. But for whom? More qualified devotees. And it can also be independent even for the less qualified devotees, but it will take a long time. You couldn't get Krishna practice by chanting Hare Krishna. You can be practiced for a long, long time because of the level of qualification. And so the ideal standard was set by Mahaprabhu and all of our acharyas is this synergy, the harmony. We take up the Panchakshara mark and then gradually become qualified into the Bhagavad mark, but outwardly we still follow. Not every aspect of it, but outwardly we still follow the main principles. Rather Kirtanani, Vairibhakti Tanyanyani, Janyanyani, Jatanyatra, Vidyayani, Namishi. So Rupa Goswami said, those in Radhamar, they also follow mainly all the temples of Bhakti which are observed in the Panchakshara mark as well. So now it's related to Madhava Das Brahmachari's question that Mahaprabhu is Saragrahi, he takes the essence. And so because the Bhagavad mark does not require all the vidhi of the Panchakshara mark, and to establish the superiority and the greatness of the Bhagavad mark, even though Chaitanya received Diksha, he didn't give Diksha to anyone. He didn't give Diksha to anyone. So then, how can, if someone says Bhagavad Guru Parampara is nothing, everything depends on Diksha, then how can anyone say that we are Gaudiya, followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So he deliberately did not give initiation to anyone to show the transmission of praying is not dependent on Diksha. But at the same time, we should follow the example of our Acharyas. Mahaprabhu received Diksha, but even receiving Diksha, he could not fulfill his three desires without going to his Bhagavad Guru, who is Brahma, without hearing from Brahma. So Sanatana Goswami's Diksha Guru is, who is his Diksha Guru? We're in Navadvip.
Yes.
We talk so much about Sanatana Goswami's Diksha Guru. He's a resident of Vidyanagara. Yes, Vidya Vichaspati. He is the brother of Sarvabhauma, Vasudeva Sarvabhauma, son of Maheshwar Visharat. So you have the school there. And of course, we know Mahaprabhu went and he tried to hide in his house. But it was, you cannot hide the sun, so everyone discovered in the open beautiful pastimes of the place of Vichaspati. And then Mahaprabhu disappeared, just like Krishna disappeared from the Rasa Lila. And he went to Kulia, to the house of Anandasi in Kulia. And but everyone then was against him. And quarreling and criticizing Vichaspati. That he's not being generous, he's hiding Mahaprabhu in his house. So, Vichaspati is the Diksha Guru of Sanatana Goswami, and he's mentioned that in his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam and glorified him. And the Diksha Guru of Rupa Goswami is Sanatana Goswami himself. So you see everywhere in the writings of Rupa Goswami, is always mentioning Sanatana Goswami, but there's some reason. And every Sunday. On the pretext of saying that Krishna is Sanatana, is eternal, or the four wonderful Paramahansa of Sanatana, he will always do some shlesh, some poetic ornament of a double meaning to put the name of Sanatana Goswami wherever is written something to put the name of his Guru Sanatana Goswami. And then the last part of the question was, is the success of someone's diksha related to or proportionate to the advancement of the Guru who gives the diksha? Yes, of course. If a person has not realized the diksha mantra, then when he gives the mantra, this is not transcendental mantra. This is not vital to value, the air which has come from the spiritual world. It is called Nasik Vayu. That means the air that went in his nose came out from his mouth. Nasik Vayu, not vital to value. So absolutely, the success, the progress that the disciple will make power to give the prakash, illuminate the heart of the mantra is directly proportional to the advancement of the Guru's giving. Yes. So it's essential to receive mantra from all enlightenments and hence realization. Gaur Premanand.